Yeah. Oh, they don't even hear a word I say when I rap. I'll burn a flag, rubbing to make America great again. It's that David and Goliath, I'ma slay my own dragons. Dragging out my words like drag racing a jag. Put the free and Freemason, I'm relaying the facts. 808s add to a 4-4 clap, that's basic math. My past a winding road, but I can find my home. Like Dorothy in some slippers standing on a tippy toes. You pushing yellow bricks, we in a fellowship of souls. Where anyone could die like a Game of Thrones episode. Yo, you never know until it's too late. Me, I flip a coin with heads on either side of it like I'm Two-Face. Living up out of a suitcase, my closet seems scarier now. Too many skeletons in it, it's like a burial ground. Y'all need a Ouija board whenever we record. Y'all get the heebie-jeebies, said that boy's a heathen and he needs the Lord. But I know God up on a first name basis. Still don't got no entourage to show me Vinny Chase love. It's still me, Major, connected to the universe. For the afterlife, I'm only here collecting souvenirs. So who's the weirdest boy you see? Me, you probably right. Pretentious, what I say, yo mama not gon' like. Namaste, wearing moccasins. Assalamu alaikum, reading Alan Watts, singing like Shaka Khan with my chakra bright. A starving artist giving food for thought to feed your appetite. It's yin and yang, so what I'm saying is only half is right. Like, I've been told a lot of things before. I'm not sure if I can make my mind up. I've been beaten, bruised and sore. I'm still trying to hold my light up. Hold my light, hold my light up. Hold my light, hold my light up. Hold my light, hold my light up. All my life, God, I've been told a lot of things before. I'm not sure if I can make my mind up. I've been beaten, bruised and sore. I'm still trying to hold my light up. Hold my light, hold my light up. Hold my light, hold my light up. Hold my light, hold my light up.
What is going on? What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Welcome back to another live stream here. If you're new, my name is Zach. This is Real Deal Futures. We are going to be checking out ES on the 1 minute, actually the 5 minute 100 tick chart. Make sure you read this disclaimer. It's at the bottom of this video. I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say or do is financial advice or a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. You'll probably lose money if you trade. I'm just an idiot on YouTube. But now that we got that out of the way, let's get into the markets, man. I'm going to jump right into it. Tell you guys what I'm looking at. A little bit of this interesting type of move that we're watching play out here again. Make sure this looks good. What's up? What's up? Guys from Discord. Let me make sure we got this running. Yeah, we got a couple people hopping on. Cool. So we've got yesterday's price action over here. FOMC rate popped, came all the way back down. Jerome Powell speaking. Price kind of just chops back around. We would think that with that, the actual rate that came out, that it would be good for the market. Market just needed a day to think about it. I read that on CNBC. I thought that was funny. Market really likes the rate decision, just needed a day to think about it. This is NY session, right? We want to see the volume. We didn't get that here. We were pushing the lows actually pretty late in the session after all that going on. Overnight, drifted higher. Big push up all the way back to near all-time highs here on ES through Asia and London at the open as we zoom in. A little bit of a bearish move back down to VWAP. Some support found all the way back up. Cracked all-time highs, cracked initial balance high that was set, and right back down to the middle of the range. We've kind of just been drifting a little bit higher here coming into the afternoon. If you were a trend line guy, maybe you say, hey, Zach, this is still looking pretty bullish. We are creating higher highs, higher lows. We're still above VWAP. We're still looking pretty good. I'd agree with you on that, but overall, choppy, right? Kind of, there's some volume being traded, but it's very slow-moving price action. That's the way that I would describe this. So I'll get back to my 100 tick and 1 minute chart here. If we tell you what I'm looking at and potentially just go through what I was watching this morning as well. I'm no trade for this morning outside of a fat finger, quick sell and close out on 1 micro, but I'm no trade. Missed a solid setup that I will talk to you guys about using the Edgeful reports that I've been speaking about. Same setup that I'm looking for, this 15-minute opening range. Yeah, so just staring at this chart, I'm not looking for a buy yet. I mean, I do see us creeping higher. I'm going to have to wait to see what happens over here. We want to get in, start scalping, looking for really zoomed in trades. Maybe we do that. Maybe I get some trading in with you guys. I talked about trying to put trades on, but a really solid setup would be above the highs of the session, breaking back above initial balance, the December all-time high, and pushing up, continuing, get some break and retest structure, something looking good to the upside. I would like a long there. Following low time frame structure, high time frame structure, everything looking bullish. Sells, I'm not a bear today. We come all the way back down with force. We start blasting below these lows. Maybe we're looking short. Maybe we're going to see, some correction from that move overnight. But I'm not looking short right now at all. I'm looking long. Within this range, within this kind of choppy zone, not really yet. Gun to my head, I'm taking a buy with a stop loss somewhere down around here or down around here. This would be okay. This would be safer. Yeah, but right now I'm going to be waiting for break of highs. That's kind of what I'm going with. You could take it from down here. Would give you a better entry. If I'm looking at my good friend Bookmap, nothing above, liquidity down below. Some pretty heavy stuff came on the book right as I was wrapping up my morning session, and it's down around pretty heavy around 56, 57, 56, all the way up to, I'd say, 57, 59. So, down around the lows. Right down here, 56 to about 59, down around VWAP, down around 15-minute opening range low and prior day high. So while we're waiting for this to set up, or not, just do something. Show you guys what I'm looking at here for this pretty sweet setup that I've been taking, and it is really lined up well with a Edgeful report that plays on a really specific statistic. This is the 15-minute opening range. The 15-minute opening range is just what how it sounds. 9:30 a.m. to 9:45 a.m. What's the high and low that price puts in at that time frame in that range? Today it was up here and down here. There's a really strong stat from Edgeful, which I will show you now. This is Edgeful's opening range breakout report. This is measuring over the last 6 months of data on ES, how often, what percentage of the time does ES break both sides of the 15-minute opening range throughout the trading session. You can see over the last 6 months of data, it happens more than 70% of the time. If you scroll even farther back out, 1 year of data, still pretty close. Really, really cool report from Edgeful. You can break this down by weekday and show different skews between weekdays. Thursday being a really strong number as well, but some of them, maybe it likes to break to the upside a little bit more often than not over the last year of data on a specific day. Really, really cool report. Again, I'm partnered with Edgeful, full disclaimer there. I love what they're doing. Been testing their software, testing the reports. I really like the stuff. I think it's easy to use. I think it makes sense. It's what guys are looking for in back testing for the most part. But you get explanations down here. You get even more explanations, break down what you're looking for, how you can use this, and then a video with most of these reports. So really great platform, but I'll show you how I use this in the morning. Here's the trade. We break the 15-minute opening range low. Am I just going to say, well, I know it breaks both sides of the 15-minute opening range 70% of the time, and I'm immediately going to go long? No, I'm going to combine that report with basic price action and market structure. On a day like today, where we're looking bullish in pre-market, we're above VWAP. We have a retest of VWAP right here, and then we crack back up into the range, breaking above, another anchored VWAP that I really like to use, NY session VWAP, especially on a day like today where we're above standard VWAP and we are below NY session VWAP. Stop loss below the lows, targeting that high. You see how that one would have played out today. Does it happen every time? Is it foolproof? No, nothing in trading is foolproof. But using these reports gives you a really clean, objective edge. You can define these differently. You can use different sessions. You can create a custom session. You could say, I want to know about a specific time frame. I don't care about the whole day. You can, adjust it for different amounts of data. You could adjust it for different instruments. A ton of different reports from these guys. Again, I'm just talking about that 15-minute opening range breakout. If you guys are interested, I will throw a link in the chat. 7-day free trial. You can play with all this stuff. It's really cool. Really, really cool. One of those things that I hear guys say, like, how has that not been around for forever? And I think it has, and I think guys have just been had to pay a lot of money to get those types of custom reports. So let me throw. Here is my link for Edgeful, man. You guys got questions? Feel free to ask. Trading questions, go right ahead. But that is the link for Edgeful. Again, 7-day free trial. You can play with that stuff. Check the stats for yourself. So go ahead and hide that one. And we're just coming up here to test these highs again. Let's see. Let's see if we can get a break above. That's what I'm looking at. I'm not taking a breakout. I want to continue to see this structure drift, but I would be looking to jump in on this slow zombie grind to the upside. I think it's hard to do. You don't have a lot of structure looking left. You don't really have easy targets, but I would like to jump in for this larger move if indeed we're going to break to the upside. Again, liquidity down below. Little reason for concern. We'll see if that stays on the book as we continue to move away from it. I see some liquidity above, up at 790. I see more and more popping up on the book above price using my favorite order flow tool, Bookmap. Here's the crazy colored order flow tool. Outside of just my standard charts, this is how I am using depth of market and level 2 data. You've got your order book right here. We're coming up into these areas of liquidity right here, not really paying attention to this and this, the algorithmic liquidity bands that people call them. This is the bright, lit up like a Christmas tree level that I'm paying attention to below price. Can be very, very helpful. I am not partnered with Bookmap yet, but I am looking at doing that in the near future. Had a couple conversations with them. Hopefully we'll have an awesome discount, really, really aggressive discount if you guys are interested in that as well. Again, talked about it yesterday. I could have sold out a long time ago. I could have taken money from companies that I didn't care about or believe in a whole lot more than the structure that I'm working with now. I believe in these companies. There's stuff that I use. I pay for Bookmap myself. I've been using it. I'd continue to pay for it and use it and show it to you guys, whether or not I stand to make a buck. But I will tell you about it and be transparent about it and tell you that I can't be unbiased. If someone stands to make money from something, they cannot be unbiased about it. So we are breaking this high, man. I'm kind of locking in on the chart here, guys. Just want to see what happens here. Are we going to blast off? Is this finally going to be it? We need to chop around here, kind of just trade within this range. And now we are going to push up with some force or maybe just drift higher. We'll see. We shall see. Nice. How much is the software and can you copy trade multiple accounts at once? For TopstepX, yes, you can copy trade multiple accounts at once. I assume that's what you're asking. For TopstepX, you could trade copy trade 5 accounts at once. This is a prop firm. Right now, I'm on a 50K funded account. This is an XFA. What's up, bro? What's up, Juan? How are we doing, my man? Been trading that 15-minute range test past week. Been working out well. Yeah, man, for sure. Again, do your own back testing. Don't take my word for anything on here. Of course, go ahead and back test yourself. And I think you can keep things super duper simple, but I wouldn't use any one thing alone. I'm just like a candlestick. I'm not going to say, engulfing candlestick, I'm going to go long or short. No, you're going to pay attention to trend. Maybe you're going to look at where you're at for certain areas of interest that you're going to mark. Maybe you're going to use a VWAP line or some other tool. You combine some of this stuff, really, really helpful. But I think, I think where Edgeful really shines is some of those reports are what you think they would be. They're kind of like, if we break the initial balance high after an hour of trading, we're not likely to come back and break the low. That's one of the reports I pay attention to. But some of them are not as clear, like the power hour breakout. Like, it's really not common. Less than 20% of the time are we putting a new low of day in during power hour. I think it's close to 20% for high of day. I could pull the stat for you guys. But some of that stuff you might not know. And if you're trading power hour, you're trading that time of day, it can be pretty damn helpful for structuring trades, to know that, you're not leaning on something happening that does not occur a lot of the time. Again, a lot of that can be found through hours and hours and hours of back testing, or using a really simple, easy to read report. So, yeah, again, some of that stuff can be really eye-opening, even if you're not going to use them all to craft a trading strategy or plan or a specific setup. Just kind of having some awareness, if this happens, more often than not, this happens next or throughout the trading day, or it's not common to see this happen. Does it still happen? Sure, of course. You'll see days where we just break one side of the 15-minute opening range, not break both. You'll see both sides of the initial balance broken. You'll see new lows of day in the last hour of trading. But there's a strong stat, 80% of the time, one thing is happening over another. So, interesting. What is power hour? Power hour is the last hour of the trading session, 3 to 4 p.m. Eastern of NY session. William, passed the second combine. Nice, dude. Very nice. Thanks. So it's a separate software than your trading platform. I showed you guys 3 different things. This is TopstepX. This is my trading platform right here. TopstepX is Topstep, the prop firm. So we're clear. Their software. This is trading view charts that are integrated right into, their platform. This is Edgeful, a statistic and report software. It's a paid program. Gives you stats based on a number of different reports. And what I showed you guys over here is Bookmap. This is also separate. While it is a platform that you can trade directly through, you can trade through Bookmap. I don't do that. I trade with a traditional candlestick chart. This is also a separate software. It's a paid software. Bookmap is paid. I pay for it. And you need level 2 data, which is a feed that you would need for any depth of market that you would want to see more than just the tip of the iceberg. You need level 2 data. So that's what this is. Again, some of this stuff looks complicated. I use this in a very, very simple, dumb guy way. I keep it super stupidly simple. I'm looking for areas of liquidity, lit up like a Christmas tree, large areas of orders on the book above or below price. Like we're coming into right now, we can see some liquidity above. Let's see how we react to it. Hope that answers your question, my man. If not, feel free, ask again. But yeah. If you got trading questions, guys, feel free to ask. If you're not in the free Discord, hop in the free Discord. Not a VIP feeder program. I trade live here almost every day. I give you my charts, analysis. I talk about news. I answer questions, usually with a really detailed response. Awesome community of traders, over 1,200 guys in there, sharing wins and losses, experienced traders, newer traders, guys that are funded, taking payouts, guys that are working towards coming off of a demo account and everything in between. Juan, I did trade this morning completely flat. I traded by staring at the charts. I had one fat finger trade for $1.25. I accidentally, you gotta be careful. I'll tell you exactly what I did. But I was no trades this morning. I went to hit, if you right click on a TopstepX chart, it brings this up. I went to hit reset chart or object tree, and really quickly, I fat fingered this. I hit market sell or market buy 1 really quickly on accident. So that was my, in an XFA. So that was my fat finger mistake for this morning. You gotta be cautious doing that. I'll tell you, there's a button where you don't have to do that if you want to reset your chart. It's option or probably command on most guys' stuff. R. Option R on a Mac platform to reset a trading view chart without having to bring that up. So, but yeah, no trades today, man. I had this set up. Beautiful. This one looked good. I hesitated. This is a missed trade that I'm journaling. That 15-minute, push back up. Was looking really, really bullish. Really wanted to wait for the larger move to develop today. I wanted to have my bullets in the chamber for kind of what we're seeing now. If we start to break out, I want to start to hop in on that larger trend. So I wasn't as concerned with taking quick trades back and forth, across this range like I usually am. But this one played. So I'm journaling that one as a missed one. Outside of that, didn't get long up here. Was tempted after we broke above to kind of take this break and retest. You could see how that played on the 5-minute, this nice little doji candle. But just stayed patient. Was looking long as we came back down. Didn't take anything. Back down into the range, chopping around. Whole lot of nothing. So flat. That's my morning. Now, as we are breaking higher, man, this looks long to me. I'm tempted to start trying it. This is really what I've been waiting for all day. Again, I'm taking this as somewhat as the breakout. You could say that's the breakout right here. I would say this is the breakout right above the highs. I'm not buying the breakout. I want to see some structure. If we absolutely run, I'm still going to be looking for structure, even on the tick chart, something within reason. Time to shine. Yeah, man. Yeah. Again, the way I'd like to get into this is accept that, maybe price has to pull back down first. If I'm early on it, I'll take a small loss. Maybe I'll look to scale into something, try to limit that upfront loss if I have to take it. But we start to move to the upside, I'm going to try the longs. And I'm going into it saying, if I have to try it more than once, I probably will. Again, a little bit more zoomed in, like I talked about, a little bit lower risk per trade, a little bit higher frequency of trades, maybe not holding them as long. Although if we start to push higher, Bookmap looks good. I'd love to get in with a good entry price and hang on to something, but let's see what happens. Let the market do what it's going to do. Go from there. But I appreciate you guys hopping on. Feel free, hit like and subscribe if you find this valuable. Free means free, so you don't have to do anything. You don't have to like or subscribe if you don't want to. Hop in the free Discord if you like. Tons of value. I'd say more value than what most guys are putting out for a couple $100 a month. And if you want to work with me one-on-one, I have an outlet for that. Work with traders one-on-one. Trading live every morning, and then hours of one-on-one trade coaching. What's up, Edgar? You probably answered this question a million times, but what is the reason you do one color for the candlesticks? Yeah, man, single color or really close colored candlesticks. I just don't find it helpful to be staring at red and green candlesticks. I don't weight price action that much. And on the lower time frames, I just find it easier to read structure and pay attention to the trend if I'm not being thrown so much looking at, red and green candlesticks. I've gone back and forth before. I don't think it's an end-all, be-all. I don't think, like, if you said, hey, Zach, you could never trade with white candlesticks anymore or white and gray. You have to use red and green. I think I would still be okay. It's more of a preference thing, but, I just have adjusted that back and forth over the years, and I find that I like to come back to this. Very monotone, easy on the eyes, and, again, even on the tick chart, I find myself trading price action for structure, and it just can allow me maybe to stay in a trade as it's, kind of chopping around or moving against me, maybe stay in a trend a little bit longer without having to fight so much emotion behind red and green candles. Again, preference thing. I don't think it's an end all be all. I think it's more of an aesthetic, the way that I like to look at the chart if I'm going to stare at it every day. As you can see, pretty monotone. If I have to have a color just to differentiate something, I use the closest to a dull color as I possibly can. That's just what seems to work for me. I know what I want to focus on the chart. It's current price, it's structure, and I try not to have too many things crazy overlapping that. I keep bookmap on the side. That's crazy colored enough, but it's a heat map. I know what I'm looking for there. So that's the deal. Easy on the eyes, maybe a little bit easier to read some structure, some trend over just individual price action. William says, Zach and Austin Silver completely changed my game. Very grateful. I appreciate that, dude. Yeah, Austin Silver is awesome, man. His brother from another mother is what everybody says, right? Because we look the same. We got beard and hair. Similar like ethnicity side of things, kind of funny. But yeah, dude, he's awesome. Big shout out to Austin. He's made I've got on his show, the Day Trading Show. There's a podcast if you guys want to watch, learn more about me and my origin story and kind of where I've come from, a lot that goes into my trading, my mindset. Feel free to watch that. It's on his ASFX YouTube. But really grateful to him. He's made some awesome connections. I have him to thank for getting on Top Step. He made the introduction for me to their production team. So yeah, Austin is awesome. Great team, real deal, professional trader. If you like the way that I trade, I think you'll find his stuff very similar, similar styles, similar approach. But yeah, he is awesome, as real as they come. Yeah, man. So I'm watching this kind of like a hawk. I know you guys see me like twitching around here. I'm watching Bookmap. I'm watching these charts. Honestly feeling a little bit strained because I've been doing it all morning, kind of staring at it and just not getting what I need. I got trading view alerts popping up here as we crack above this high because this is what I was waiting for. Now I want to see, do we get structure, right? You can go about trading a number of different ways. You can have a very, very similar approach to me, and your entry is going to be a little bit different. I would like to see maybe 5-minute closures, which would be shown on this tick chart, but a continuation above, and something like this. And maybe I'm looking to jump in long over here, just a hair more structure, something like that. And I'm going to look to ride this. That's the game plan. You can buy the breakout. You could buy as you're headed up towards it before the breakout. You can buy the pullback. These are all fine. There's not one right or wrong way. Some will be more conservative, more aggressive. Different things will work, better on different days. For me, I really like structure and trend in the direction that I want to trade. This is ideal. And then some kind of a traditional break-in retest, pullback type of structure. And then I'm entering with the momentum, whether it's to the upside or for a buy or to a downside for a sell. There's days when I enter very aggressively, where I enter counter trend. I'm discretionary in that way. Talk about that a lot. Discretionary with price action and market structure, especially on my entries and on my trade management, because I have the confidence to do so. I have the experience to do so, and I see it work out over a large sample size. There will be days when my discretion does not serve me well. And had I just done something differently or not touched the trade at all, I would have been in a better spot for that specific trade. But I find more often than not, if I'm adjusting my stop loss, bringing it to, break even, cutting a loser short, adding into a winner, taking profit at a certain area based on new data that prints, I'm better off in the long run. But that's what I'm looking for here. I'm trying to articulate what I'm waiting for. So, and I hope you guys find that helpful. I've obviously been on a whole lot of different live streams, and sometimes I talk about different things, but it's almost all trading related. I feel like that's what you're on here for. That's what you're clicking on live trading ES on TopstepX on YouTube for a reason. You don't want to hear somebody talk about their Lambo or some random conversation. Keep it trading related, and more importantly about exactly what I'm seeing on the chart right now, and what I'm looking for as I'm potentially looking for a long here. Yeah, so right now, it's looking like this slow zombie grind to the upside. Don't want to jump in just yet, just in case we want to find support and kind of double top up here and pull all the way back down. I'm not going to run a stop loss that wide to survive this, pull back down towards this area. You could certainly do that, but I'm not going to. I want to wait to see, are we going to see really solid momentum? Are we just going to start to creep higher? Either way, I'm looking for a buy. But I don't want to jump it, although, you know, a case could be made. We're looking long overall. You know, throw a buy in there. You know, you don't need it to move very far past the high for a 1-to-1. You know, we start running up towards a nice round psychological number. You know, you're capturing a pretty nice trade. You won't survive much of a pullback down. Maybe you go something like that. You say, if we have to come all the way back down into the zone, I'm wrong with my initial thesis that we're getting ready to move up right now. But we are really just hesitating here. Kind of just hanging out. Yeah, nothing crazy on Bookmap either. Low volume here too. Very low volume. Kind of coming towards the end of NY lunch, which is the slang for 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll see. We shall see. Makes sense. Thanks for asking. No problem, man. If you guys got trading questions, feel free. Ask them in the chat. Nice to catch the stream today. Happy to have you on, man. Third $200 day on the XFA. Not trying for much more than that for now. Scale down is making trading a little different. Small and patient is good for me. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's the key. That's the key, brother. Keep it slow and low. You know, shoot for those $200 days, right? You're going to have to get them. You can't just run up into profit. You really don't want to go massively in the green and then run yourself all the way back down to red if you are not qualified for that payout yet. So, nice, dude. Very nice. We got 1,000 lot at the 5790s. Let's see. ES just retested the initial balance. Doesn't seem like it is about to push higher. It does seem like it's about to push higher. Yeah, I could see that, man. I could see that. Yeah, I could see the pop. Again, hesitating here, right? Just hanging out. Very, very slow declining volume right here. Do we see a big push up on big volume? Do we see that on Bookmap, which shows volume as well in a couple different ways? I could see it, but I think I'm going to be late to the party here, guys. Like I said, I want to get trading in with you, but I want it to make sense. I'm tempted to try it from right down here, just catching this first pop up. But I'm looking for this to happen. And again, I'd be looking for something up here. Again, this could be wherever the hell it wants to be. Maybe it's up here. You know, we run up and I'm looking for it. Maybe it's, you know, much more modest than that. But, you know, that's the ideal. Could hop in here as well. And just look to get in now. Try it first. Maybe you only throw, you know, $100 of risk on the line, and you're able to capture that nice pop up if it runs, and you know your stop loss is pretty tight. Maybe we need to pull back down first. Takes you out. You wait. Try it again. You know, a couple different ways you go about this, but nothing here is telling me to go short. You know, you could short all-time highs. You could short high of session, you know, near initial balance. Look for a pullback down in. Very cheap trade, obviously, right? You don't have to run a wide stop loss, but nothing on this chart as I zoom out. Bullish overall, right? Really zoomed out. Bullish right here. Bullish in pre-market. Bullish for the day. I think you're starting to fight the trend if you develop a really, really bearish bias for the day. Just my humble opinion. So, long is the way that I'm looking. but we'll hang out together and we'll see. Again, even after I hop off today, if I don't take a long, I'm getting trading view alerts set, and I want to look to ride this trend if it's going to grind to the upside. If buyers are going to come in late and for whatever the fundamentals, the Fed is cutting rates and that's bullish and everybody wants to pile back in, cool. I was talking about it with the guys that I work with one-on-one this morning. The more that I carry that bias, the more I try to, think about fundamentals over the years continually. I just find it hurting me. I find it so much better when I'm coming back from vacation. I haven't been paying attention to, the markets. I don't know really what's going on fundamental wise. I mark my chart up, look at the past couple of days of price action and structure, and I say, okay, I'm coming with a fresh mindset, no bias, and I'm ready to trade, in whatever direction the market wants to go. That's when I find I do the best. Pullback, consolidation, push higher. Yeah, this is looking good. This is looking good for longs, guys. Not a lot of momentum, like not a lot of volume, really slow movement. So I think a trade that I put on, I would really be looking to sit in it unless it does move quickly. But it's low volume, right? Really declining volume, and just you could see it in the candles. Very, very slow movements. You could see it on the tick chart, really condensing that that lack of movement. Will says in at 57.85. Nice, dude. Nice. Yeah, again, I'm looking to start trying it. Like I said, I'm probably just going to wait for a little bit of the more conservative, wait for the continuation above. That's kind of my play. Not just by the breakout of initial balance, kind of what we're doing right now. Although this could be break and retest right here. We're right at the high of day, high of session. It looks like we want to go. I see liquidity above on Bookmap. I think if we continue to come up into it, we're likely to see a pop. I'd be surprised if we didn't get some volume traded coming up here above this price. Let's see. Here we go. But while we're hanging out watching the market, if you guys got trading questions, feel free to ask away. Keep these open format so we can chat. And if you find this stuff valuable, man, you like what I'm doing here, trading live on YouTube for free, showing you real trading. Although I don't have a trade on, straight from my platform executions. None of the after the fact stuff. Feel free to hit like and subscribe. If not, you don't have to do anything, man. Free means free, but it helps me out. I think I'm a better trader and coach than I am a social media algorithm cracker. I tell people that all the time. Try my best. I don't have the skills yet on that side. Slow, man, super slow. Again, I think the move here is going to be get in whenever your strategy, your approach, your system says to get in, whatever structure you're looking for, and sit patient. This is going to be very slow moving, or it's at least slow moving right now. So it has the potential to be slow moving. Don't know if it's going to be slow moving. We could take off like a rocket from here. We can crack these all-time highs. Buyers step in, and we're taking everybody out that got short, and we're just going to keep running, but not yet. So I'm tempted to say if I do find a long, I'm probably sitting in it if I don't get stopped out. But so far it's just hesitation. Resistance found up here. Again, we didn't blast into it with a lot of momentum. So I'm not looking for it yet. Again, I'd rather be late to the party today. After this type of action, I'd rather just be late to the party. That's my thought. Again, Will, I don't think 85 is a bad move. Right down here around your entry right now. Stop loss at an area that makes sense for you. And, if we do start to blast off, you're going to have a pretty solid entry price. But we'll hang out and see. We will see. Yeah, that stuff on the book is still down there. I mean, I also don't love that. This is far enough away from price where, unless we started to sell off, I wouldn't be focused too much on, but we do have liquidity on the book. Let's say on average, right around that 57. Right around yesterday's high, 15-minute opening range low, a little bit below VWAP on Bookmap. My favorite order flow tool, the crazy predator looking heat map. I don't know if you guys ever saw that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, Predator, and the 37 ones they made after it, but as soon as I saw Bookmap, that's what it reminded me of. Yeah, man, what's NQ looking like? Kind of the same, a little bit more bullish, right? We're above this initial balance high, a little bit stronger, but really just slow, choppy movement here. Now that we moved in, do we find some momentum? Do we get some nice big legs to the upside? I don't know. Is YM in its own world? I heard Dow was looking really bullish this morning. Yeah, that was it looking really bullish this morning, but kind of the same thing. Choppy, back down, and then really nice big push up from Dow. But Dow kind of lives in its own world. That's what I've come to terms with. Scroll out, fix my VWAPs. I don't know if you guys know, if you run anchored VWAPs or even session VWAP on a low time frame and you switch between charts or even time frames, you got to zoom all the way back out to reset it and make sure it's in the right spot. You can see how that anchored VWAP from prior day moved. Yeah, that's what's on my chart here. It's the 5 minutes so you can see a little bit better. This is an NYSE session, 9:30 a.m. anchored VWAP, an anchored volume weighted volume weighted average price. This is your session VWAP, your standard in the indicators tab session VWAP, and this is going to be anchored to prior day. I've been doing without this one and even sometimes the NY session just because I don't like so much on my chart. But on a day like today, if we started to sell off, this can provide some structure to the downside. Again, these are found in the projections tab right down here. The volume-based anchored VWAP. Really helpful. You can use them in a lot of different ways. You could anchor them to high of the session. You could, on a day like today, you could have thrown one off this high and said, you know what? When we get back above that, I know without a shadow of a doubt, we got sellers stepping back, a buyer stepping back in. They're taking it back above this high of day volume weighted average price. And I'm looking for a long. I can give you entries. Maybe you wait for breaks and retest, closes above. Same thing to the downside. Brian Shannon, if you want to learn more on that, he is kind of the godfather of the anchored VWAP. He runs Alpha Trends, that's his brand, and he's got a book, extensive videos. He talks about it a lot. Really clear. If you want to get super duper detailed into one specific tool, that's who I would look to on that. Again, for me, can help determine who's in control, buyers or sellers. Maybe it acts as a kind of a dynamic support and resistance area of structure. I don't use anything exclusively. I don't weight one thing too crazy over another. I am using price action and market structure over everything. That's really my key. I like horizontal levels, areas of interest, some objective, some discretionary. Meaning objective, this is defined by a specific time. The 15-minute opening range on MES is the exact same on my chart as it is on your chart. Same with initial balance high and prior day high and low, that type of stuff. Discretionary meaning a zone, an area of interest. If I zoom out on my 5-minute, you'd see some above and below price. Maybe it's support and resistance, supply and demand, just highs and lows, an area of interest. Just really the structure. That's kind of what I'm using it for. But at its core, man, I keep things as simple as possible. Stupidly simple. At the end of the day, I don't find adding an enormous amount of complex rules and 37 indicators, especially indicators that are telling you the same thing, are going to be really helpful. I like Bookmap because it's different information. It's level 2 data. It's showing me where orders are resting in the market, something that I can't see with anything else right here. I like volume tools, volume weighted average price, traditional volume, because some of that can be seen within the candle, but it's clear to see it outside of the candle. But at its core, I'm paying attention to price action and market structure. Almost every indicator you use is going to be based on price and time, or price, time, and volume, some combination of that. Price, time, and volume are going to show you that stuff. So keep it simple. Focus on the stuff that matters, less on the stuff that doesn't. That's what helped me a lot in the past. It can be comforting to think that you have some indicator or tool that's going to give you some massive edge, and it'd be so easy, and all you have to do is wait for that and trade off of that. If you find that, man, you're somebody that I've never met before. It's unfortunately just not out there, in my humble opinion. Find stuff that you prefer, your preference, stuff that is easy for you to interpret, that you can use quickly, fits your personality, the way that you interact with the market, and use that. But you can keep it stupidly simple. And I think you see a lot of guys that are really successful doing that, trading off of borderline naked charts, a couple different time frames, a couple boxes, a couple lines, maybe a moving average, maybe maybe VWAP. Cool, Brandon. I will check that out, man. I will check that out. Cut for $12.50 profit. Going to look for reentry on more structure. Yeah, I got you, brother. Nice. You got out, but got out in profit. Beautiful, William. Yeah, here we go with a pullback. So an entry up here with a stop loss really tight. Wouldn't have played. We'll see what a buy with a stop loss below this level. That's kind of what I would have been looking at if I was getting long up here. At best right here, definitely not down here, maybe down here, but that would have been pretty damn wide also. This is slow moving, but it's decent size structure. So again, I just want to be late to the party. If it's going to continue, it will continue. I'd love to do it after a big pullback. If we wicked all the way down here, maybe even all the way down here, and then really started to find some momentum, some volume, that would be like beautiful. Make it real easy. Even if we just, pull back like this and then continue higher, I'm probably going to look long there. we're going to continue this break and retest structure to the upside. This would give me a new invalidation point. So we'll see. But, we're struggling. We're struggling here, right? We tested it here. We tested it a bunch of times here, although we did crack above. But, buyers are really struggling to accept these higher prices and move higher. We're right at this December all-time high. If we're going to break and run above, I want to see that start to happen and then start taking longs. And if I'm wrong because the market just wants to run for a little bit and then come all the way back in, that's okay. I know more often than not, if I wait for what I'm looking for on the chart, it'll play in my direction, not by a huge margin, modest win rate, and especially if I can structure my trades in a nice positive way. Give myself a clear invalidation point. Where on the chart do I no longer think my thesis is valid? I no longer think it's going to continue higher. I think now it's more likely to continue lower, potentially before going higher, but just continue lower. That's where you want your stop loss to be. And then does that make sense for the upside potential? That's kind of the iterative process before you put on a trade. Where does your stop loss have to go? What does that mean for your take profit? Do you have a target in mind? Is that reasonable? Yes, yes, yes. Go ahead, put the trade on. If something there is not lining up, you have a stupid, crazy wick to the downside, and yeah, you think price is going to continue up higher because of all these reasons, but you don't have any way to structure risk. You slap a stop loss on there, you're not doing yourself a service. It's not really at an invalidation point. So but we will see. While we're hanging out, man, feel free, ask trading questions in the chat. Hop in the free Discord. Link is in the description. If you're from Discord, what's up? Thanks for being back. Appreciate all you guys hopping on here, man. I really do. It'd be really, really boring to be sitting here talking to myself like this. Yeah, man. Oh, we got something happening right now, news-wise. Come on, chat. What do we got? I see all the liquidity coming off the book on Bookmap, unless my Bookmap's messed up. We had something just then, but I don't know what it was. Not an orange folder or a red folder. And I'll tell you how I know that. We had some news that just came. What was it? Didn't really do much of anything. But those algos only come off when nothing showing on my site. Maybe not important. When I see this happen, this algorithmic liquidity above and below price, when this seems to get shut off, it's a dead giveaway that we're coming into some news. This crap that tracks price that really never seems to do anything, that just makes it more difficult to read actual liquidity, which we could see right here, and big orders on the market down here. When that comes off the book, it's usually right around news. They kill it like right before news. And here we were coming into 30 seconds before 1 p.m. So it looks like they were anticipating something. Here we go, creeping back up. Yeah, man. I mean, it's so slow, so it's hard to read. But we come up above these highs. I'm going to be really tempted to take it long. That old saying, the trading saying, not old, I guess, but the more a level is tested, the less it is respected. More times you hammer into an area of resistance, putting in higher lows, the more likely it is to break. You have a spot on the chart that looks like this, and you have price action kind of like what we're seeing right now. You come down, you come up into it, boom, really big reaction, come back up into it again, come back up into it again. Starts to feel like eventually you want to break that. You typically don't make, a bunch of consecutive higher lows into a resistance area, banging against it without, starting to crack above. It certainly happens. We could turn right from here. We are finding a lot of resistance, but every little kind of pullback off of it seems to come back to it. And we got some orders up there at 790, so we come through those highs. I think we're very likely to see a pop higher, at least initially. If we're going to trade into that, it would make a good case for a long. Biden speaking. Okay, yeah, there. 10-year bid auction. That's probably it. 10-year bid auction at 1 o'clock, I'm assuming. Yeah, gotcha. That's what it is. Again, it's actually a nice, not feature, but something that you can note on Bookmap. If you're not aware of something, it can be a last ditch warning sign. All of a sudden, when all the liquidity dries up, the algorithms get turned off, the heat map kind of just goes dark. You go, oh, okay, wait a minute, something's about to happen. So it can be a last minute warning sign. Again, usually you only get a minute, 30 seconds, but I'm usually, I have it on the second screen, watching on the side, but that could be helpful for sure. Yeah, man, I see we got people hopping on, hanging out, waiting to see if we could find a long, looking for something. Are we going to start breaking these highs to the upside? I'm going to look long. I'd like to be late to the party. I'd like to be somewhere up here, really waiting for confirmation. Worst entry price, targeting they drift higher for the end of the day. Buying down here, I think it's an okay move. Trying to find a long, finding a way to structure risk, saying, I do think we're going to move higher. We're slamming against this all-time high. I think when we do move higher, we're going to move rapidly. I want to be in that. Maybe you run, smaller position size, wider stop loss. You throw a stop loss somewhere down here. You say, if we have to come, all the way back down into this zone, all the way back down below these lows, I don't think it's as likely that we're going to continue higher. I think it's more likely that we start drifting lower. That could be your thesis. And, your long could be from down here, looking good. Stop loss way far down and, a target up here. You could look to scale in and control risk. It's a pretty sweet risk management move if you have the discipline to do it. Maybe you get long here with 2 micros. You say, if we start to move in the direction of my trade and we come up here, I'm going to look to add and move my stop loss to an area that makes sense, maintain the same total amount of risk while increasing my position size and my upside potential. Obvious double-edged sword there, because maybe price does this, and where if you were running your initial stop loss way down here, you wouldn't have been stopped out before it continues in your direction. But the obvious upside is you're starting small. If you're wrong and price just has to come directly down here and stop you out, you're stopped out for 2 contracts, not 4, in this example. Scaling into winners, I think it's a very, very powerful move. I think it takes some serious discipline, not for the beginner, not for guys that can't handle being wrong with discretionary trade management. Again, maybe today it works out beautifully. You keep adding and price just drifts and drifts and drifts, and you lower your stop loss, 1 time, 2 times, all the way to break even. That's great. On another day, that example that I described is what you have to be aware of. There'll be times where if you're going to add into positions, maybe you start nice and wide, price moves in the direction of your trade, you double your position size and you cut your stop loss in half or less. You maintain the same amount of risk, right? Maybe you were $100 risk per trade right here with 2 contracts, random example, and maybe you're still $100 for this total trade with 4 contracts. And what can happen is price pulls back, takes you out, and then continues in the direction of your trade, where if you had just left your original stop loss, that wouldn't happen. I think part of adding into winners, if you're going to look for that, trade management style, you have to have clear invalidation points. You should have somewhat of a plan going in, and you want to utilize this new data as it's printing. And maybe you say, I'm not going to add until we get a break above, or a break and retest, and then a break above that. I'm going to add on that break. And now I don't think that price should come back below these lows. I think if we have to come all the way back down here, my trade isn't validated. I'm wrong. I would never want to hold it all the way back down here. This is theoretical. I'm just talking through an example. But again, adding into positions can be very, very powerful. I've done it less in the morning just because I am zoomed in. I have, fixed stop losses and take profits. I don't have fixed stop losses to take profits, but I have clear targets and clear invalidation areas. And I'm not targeting this big extension where I want to hold on to the trade and I'm going to scale in and scale out. It's a thesis that plays out pretty quickly. And, I don't have a lot of time to continually add to the trade without really getting a worse and worse average price. And I don't have clear invalidation levels to move a stop loss up to. A day like today, we might have that. So I wouldn't, I'm not a fan of averaging down, not a fan of adding as price moves against you. Guys make that work, more power to them. There's more than one way to do this, but with every trade management, there's a downside to it, right? There's an upside and downside to everything. Double-edged sword. Some guys will go with a fixed stop loss. This is a really common one. A lot of the guys that I work with, I suggest this idea. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just an idiot on YouTube. You can go with a multiple take profit area, multiple levels for taking profit. Let's say you take profit at a 1-to-1 and you move stop loss to break even and you let a second position run until a 1.5-to-1 or 2-to-1. So what would happen is, let's say you open a position with 2 contracts. If price comes up here, you'd be closing out 1 contract and moving stop loss to break even, letting the remainder run. Maybe it's 2-to-1. You're targeting 2-to-1, letting the remainder run to 2-to-1. The benefit of doing that is if price only reaches a 1-to-1 and comes back down to stop you out, great. You have a winning trade here. You grabbed, 1 full win on the 1 contract that you had at 1-to-1. Downside to this, because there's a downside to everything, since we're going over a couple different examples of trade management while we're just hanging out watching the market chop. Obvious downside to this is you're closing out half the position here, right? And now if the whole position makes it to 2-to-1, overall, you didn't capture a 2-to-1 relative to your risk. You captured a 1.5-to-1 because you closed 1 position out at 1-to-1 and then a second position out at 2-to-1. So overall, your trade, if you risked $100, you made $150. This is an example of scaling out in profit. You can have multiple levels of scaling out. You can have, 3 or 4 different levels. But if you're looking for something that is, somewhat flexible, but you have a really clear way to do it, you could have clearly defined rules and say, I enter my trade and it's either a 1-to-1 hit and then a break even, a 2-to-1 hit where I close half the position out at 1-to-1, or a stop loss. But I don't have discretion in that. I do something mechanical as price reaches a certain level. Or you could be like me and you could be pretty discretionary with the whole dang thing. Different things for different situations. It is the most difficult, I think, to manage from a psychology side, again, because you'll be wrong certain days. It's the most difficult to track data on, to have something that is clearly able to journal. And it's why I take so much time to journal a lot of what I'm doing and why and how it worked out and review my data. But as you gain more experience, as you become better at reading price action and market structure, which I'm a believer that you do every day, I think allowing yourself more flexibility, more discretion, again, within reason, right? Because it toes the line of just inconsistency and gambling and, going down the road of tilt. But within reason, where it's written into your plan, where you have that discretion, and you journal, create a serious feedback loop, I think it can help you. And I think you can become less mechanical, and you'll have a lot of situations where you say, this is just not working out. I think I should close the trade. And that's your intuition and your discernment of price action speaking to you. You close the trade, you save yourself a full stop out. So that's my thoughts on trade management. Just some ideas there. Yeah, sir. Rojo, what's up, man? Are you aggressive on challenges? Yeah, I'm aggressive on challenges, man. I talk about that a lot. Very aggressive on challenges as far as combines go. No right or wrong way to do it. You can be conservative. You can be aggressive. For the most part, I would put myself in the much more aggressive camp. Hey, Zach, I'm interested on one-on-one coaching. Do you recommend experience level? Yeah, man. I don't like to work with guys that are... What's up, John? I don't like to work with guys that are complete beginners. I think there's so much... There's so much out there to be learned for free, books to read, and content to take in. Along with that, I think you have to just, it's probably better to have some experience in the markets first, maybe on demo, just getting a real feel for, what you're going to like, what you're not going to like, what you're going to struggle with before you, start to shell out for some serious one-on-one coaching. But if you're interested, so let's say like if you're 3 to 6 months in, I'm probably not your guy. I'm going to do better once you're, a little bit farther down that road. But if you want to talk about it, you can book a free call. My site is Real Deal Futures. You can hop in the free Discord and book a call through that. We talk face-to-face through Zoom, talk about your trading, zero pressure. You're not going to waste my time. If you're dead broke or you have no interest in working with me, I'd probably say maybe you're wasting both of our times. But if you're interested in it and you want to find out more about it, I'll detail the whole program after we talk about your trading and make sure that's something that makes sense for you. Mike says, bingo. Miami 5 Realtor says, nice. NQ struggling a bit here. I probably wouldn't go long. Yeah, man. Again, I see the same on ES, right? So I've kept myself out of a choppy situation. I still am looking long. I still think this is likely to pop and continue. We still have liquidity above. I just would rather be late to the party. I'd rather be wrong up here, after we come higher. I would rather not be wrong down here. I think a buy with a stop down below here, down below here, down below here, all that's fine. Targeting to move higher. Starting to see that right now, push up. Again, we're going to come into liquidity right above. I think, here we go. Let's see. Not there yet. Let's see 790s. Let's see. I saw some more questions in the chat. I'll come back to that. If you guys got questions, feel free to ask, man. Ask away while we're hanging out watching the markets at 1:17 p.m. Eastern. Are we not going to crack this 790? Watching book map. We're right below a nice line on the heat map. I almost am liking this long right now with a break above. I don't think this is a bad setup. If we're gonna really react to the downside here, I'm just dead wrong. But liquidity above is still there. Liquidity way down below is still there, but this looks good to the upside. Cracking above. I think we're gonna get 5-minute bar closure up here. Not yet, man. Not yet. No, not a lot of volume behind that. I think it's going to go. I still think it's going to go. Just don't know if it's going to continue after that. Stop loss just below these lows is what I would be looking at. Man, this is just slow, slow moving, guys. I'm hesitating here on hitting the buy button, and I might miss this jump up. I see liquidity up here. It looks like we want to go. There seems to be some volume behind the moves to the upside, but it's struggling. This might be an area that it breaks through, and then we really get some movement to the upside. Yeah, I'm just gonna wait on this. I think it's gonna pop. I do. I'm buying a break of these highs. That's really what the game plan is. At least for this, I like that close. Obviously, you can see it on the tick chart. You can see the movement up, but I'm really just buying the break of highs. Wonder how NQ is looking, if it's doing the same. Ooh, now we got some more liquidity coming on the book above. Ooh, I like that. I like that. I don't like that we're pulling back right here. We got some at 95 and then just starting to get some at 5,800. Not cracking just yet. Not cracking the highs just yet. Just a lot of back and forth. I mean, slow drift, right? Even here, slow drift. But like, what move has there really been since I hopped on here? Let's see it. 12 o'clock, right? Hopped on about 12 o'clock, a little after 12 o'clock. 3 points, 4 points to the upside. After a 6 1/4 point, move to the downside. Not a whole lot to capture while we're live here, guys. The more I watch this, the more tempted I am to just jump in long. I'm doing my best to find a reason. And I think it's really just going to be, from this level at any point, no need to hesitate. Throw your trade on, run a stop loss wide enough. The thesis is it's going to go, and you're not going to wait any longer. Otherwise, I just got to sit patient. Throw some trading view alerts up here. We start to crack higher. Look for my target. Look for my entry above that on some more structure. My thought in waiting is if we find resistance here and we need to pull back off, I'm going to be wrong. The benefit, obviously, of hopping in, you get a much better price than me, waiting for something way up here, all the way towards these levels that, are probably going to be your targets if you start getting long down here. I see liquidity above. I think it just doesn't, it doesn't make a lot of sense for what I see that we just absolutely turn from here and we don't come and tap that, but it's kind of what we're doing right now. If we do start coming into these levels of liquidity, following this trend to the upside, I think it could add fuel to the fire and we really just continue moving higher. But I'm staying patient right now, so I'm probably going to be later in the afternoon if I get something. But what's up, Zach? Call your guy at JP Morgan. We need some action. Don't they know what's up, man? Don't they know we are day trading addicts? Yeah. I trade the same way, but for different reasons every day. The same way, meaning style-wise. But some days I'm scalping reversals. The next day I'm scalping longs. Whatever is showing the better move at the time. Yeah. That's a good way to go about it. You have some consistency. You had some, way to apply consistency in the market, and you're giving yourself some discretion and some flexibility based on the market conditions. I think that's fine. Again, it's important to come to the market with some consistency. And I'm not a fan of 100% rules-based strategies. I don't think they work. Otherwise, we'd code them into bots and EAs, and we could just kick back. But you have to have some consistency in these inconsistent markets, and certainly a really clean way to structure your risk management plan. Joshua, what's up, man? Would you take into consideration SMT with NQ not breaking high and ES breaking high? No, probably not. For the most part, I say I wonder what's going on with NQ. I check it out every once in a while. I'm really not taking into account correlation or divergence between the two. It's just not part of my plan. I like to just trade the chart in front of me. It can feel helpful at certain times, and it did in the past where I was getting a jump on NQ, watching what Dow and ES were doing, and then other days I would just be caught fighting the trend. I'm trading what ES is doing on the NQ chart, expecting the same, and they're just not working together. That type of deal. So I don't find it too helpful. I think it can be, good to know overall what the rest of the market's doing. But for the most part, keeping it super simple and just focusing on what's going on right in front of me, using the number of tools that you see me use. That's the righteous path for me. But to each their own, man. There's guys that are watching the Mag 7. They're watching the dollar. They're watching forex pairs, gold, all taking that all into consideration for what's going on here on the U.S. indices, and they're trading that way. That's great if you could do that. Yeah, guys, I think I'm just going to hang on this one. I appreciate you guys all hopping on. Had a bunch of people jump on. Thank you for being here. I just don't see it from here. It would be long now. That would be it. And, stop loss down, targeting the move to the upside. I'm going to wait. I'll tell you, though, I'm getting long on this later in the day if we continue this move up. I'll be long towards power hour. If we start to move quickly after I hop off, you could guess where I'm going with it. But for right now, just low volume, chop right down around here, back and forth, kind of indecisive, consolidating. I'm buying the middle of this area of consolidation, anticipating a break to the upside. Just not my setup. What's up? More people from Discord. What's going on? Peace, Mike. I will talk to you guys later. Hop in the free Discord. Thank you guys for being here. I'll be live again tomorrow. And remember, I'm not a financial advisor. None of this is financial advice. Trading's risky. Most traders lose money. Make your own trading decisions. Nothing I say or do here or anywhere else is a suggestion or recommendation to do anything. If you liked what I was talking about with Edgeful before, check out the link. I posted that. I'll post it again real quick for you guys if you're still on here. 7-day free trial. I am a partner. Full disclaimer. I can't be non-biased, but I use this stuff myself. Gave you a clean example of how it worked out today. Talk to you guys soon. Talk to you guys in Discord. Have an awesome day. Trade safe.